This will be a quick video, but I want to come back to my bike-specific toolbox. Now, my tool set for bike-specific tools has grown well beyond this. And I just noticed I even have tools missing from this. On both sides, normally, there is a freewheel tool over here and a cassette tool over here, or vice versa. Can't remember which side I have it on, but those are down in the basement. Now, there are tools in here that work for other things, but mainly, this is where I keep my specific bike tools. And by specific, I'm talking stuff like this. Ooh, look at that spider web. I know I have used this recently, so I guess they're building in here now. But this is a pedal wrench, a Park Tool pedal wrench, PW-5. Something, if you're really going to be working on your own bike, I definitely recommend this being one of your first tools. But I'm not going to go through every tool I have in here again. I have videos on that, 2 of them, with even some of the updated tools that I'm using now. For this video, I want to come at it in the exact opposite direction because of a recent message. Now, I apologize to the viewer. I was going to give you a shout out in this, but I have just looked and I can't for the life of me find your actual message to screenshot. But you asked me, hey, bike tools and a bike specific toolbox are great and all, but of all these tools that you've shown, which ones are the most worthless to you? I'm paraphrasing here. This wasn't their exact wording, but it's something like that. Which ones should basically they not invest in? Using my experience from the tools that I have purchased, and I started thinking about it, and it's actually pretty easy. And in this specific toolbox, I have 3 tools that if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't buy. Your time is valuable, and so is mine, so I'm going to cut to the chase and show you which ones that is. By the way, speaking about time, this is my sole transportation right now, aside from bikes, my scooter and my bicycles, because my car just went into the shop. Over 2 weeks later from the tornado event where a tree fell on it, now I finally have it in the shop. So tools, I'm going to start out here in the bottom of my toolbox because 2 of the tools are in here. And there are, again, tools I use a lot, but there are a couple of tools that are just so either faulty or I just don't feel like I need them anymore that I wouldn't recommend. And one of them is this. This is a bike hand tool. It is designed for easily removing the tire or putting the tire, I can't remember if I'm seating the bead of the tire or breaking the bead of the tire with this tool. And the reason I can't remember is because it worked so horrible at whichever that was that I determined this I would definitely not ever buy again. And honestly, I don't think I bought this. I think I had it on a Christmas or a birthday wish list and somebody got it for me. Otherwise, I'd be really mad because I'm not even sure that's the case. But this thing I've tried and it just, the leverage, I almost can bend it with my hands here. I don't know if you can see this flexing here, but it's flexing in just with 2 fingers holding this. So if you've ever worked with like a Maxxis Minion or other similar tires that are notoriously hard to get over or off of the lip of a rim, this thing, well, it's just not going to cut it. So this bike hand, whatever, I'll maybe put the name on the screen if I can find it. I don't like it and I wouldn't buy it again. For the second tool, I guess I'm going to have to dig down even further. There it is. This is the second tool. I've complained about this in other videos. This is a budget headset compression tool, and I thought it was a bike hand too, but it's a whatever that brand is. There are a million different brands for this exact same thing. And this is a headset / bottom bracket compression tool. And I've featured in a video where I don't even use this anymore. I use a wood block and a hammer because it's so much more efficient and better than this thing. This is supposed to press headset cups onto your head tube. But the problem is, it's just not that good at it. It's hard to keep straight. It's always wanting to tilt and everything go in at an angle. And even the high-dollar Park Tool ones, I watched the bike shop. Professionals using the professional tool, and they weren't having a lot more luck. It was easier, but they weren't having a lot more luck than me fighting with this thing. So I determined this is absolutely useless for bike headsets. Now it can work for bottom brackets. If you're pressing in a bottom bracket, I guess maybe there it might be a little better. But for the headset that I bought it for, I definitely would not buy this again. And I can't remember how much it cost. It was under 20 bucks. And it looks cool. I mean, it's got little bearings and moves. So in theory, it can play a little bit. but I've just not been happy with it. And again, a block of wood and a mallet far superior to this. So another tool I would not buy again, but I'm not going to throw this one because that would possibly chip my concrete floor. The third tool is going to get really, really specific. You have to be a specific type person that likes a specific thing and owns one of the few bikes that have this. But if I look through, there it is. Now don't run off when you see this. This is called the Cricut, I think is how you pronounce that, or Cricut. It is an adjustment tool, a tension tool for the Gates carbon drive. Like Priority bicycles have those fancy Gates belt drive systems on them. This is the tool to properly tension the belt. Put your finger in, put it on the belt, and you press down, and you use this gauge to judge the tension, and there's a specific amount of tension supposed to be on these Gates belts, and it turns out, look at this. Went down into my basement, and I found these. I have two brand new Gates carbon drives. I think this red one was sent to me by Priority to put on one of the bikes. I was going to do this red on black theme. Ended up not doing it, but I still have that, and then came across this other one. Look at that, USA. That's what Gates carbon drives, really good belts. If you're going to go with a belt drive bike, first I would recommend you look at Priority bicycles, because I think, at least my opinion, they have the best of the belt drive bikes, at least that I've experienced. But also make sure that any bike that you buy that has a belt on it has the Gates carbon drive. It's the standard. It's the one that has the adjustment tools, the one that has the long life, all that other stuff. Well, at least the experiences that I have heard. I do have one non-Gates belt drive bike, the IKEA Slada. And if you know anything about the Slada, you'll know it got recalled because of the generic belt drive. That belt was snapping and injuring people, so it got recalled. So I have one of the few that are remaining because they destroyed them, at least here in the US. This goes on the belt. I can't even remember how to use this. I think you set it to the level you want, then you press until it clicks, and you'll know if you've exceeded or moved past the level. Honestly, I can't remember how to use this. I just remember that they have an app. Gates also has an app, and that app works so well with the belt drives that by the time I got this, I didn't really need it. Now, I have used it a couple of times. I did receive one bike right around the time that I received this, that right from the factory, it just wasn't the right tension, and I fixed that with this. But otherwise, that app, it uses the sound, and it's surprisingly good. So much so that at the then local bike shop manager, he had a bike with a carbon drive in it, and he knew I had this tool, and he said, hey, can you bring that tool down for us? He used the app by the time I got there, and it was right on. So being that the app is so good, and this tool at the time that I bought it was over $100 or somewhere around there. I just looked, and it's 51 and change, so 52 bucks these days. But do you want to spend 52 bucks or use the free app that's designed by the same company that makes these amazing belts and these amazing belt drive systems? If they're happy with the app, it's going to work. So why purchase this tool? It's just sort of redundant. Now, I guess it is cool if I hang on to this, because at some point, maybe I'll come across another Gates carbon drive bike, maybe one that I can use this red belt on. So I'm hanging on to this, but it's because I've spent so much money on it. Otherwise, I definitely wouldn't buy that. So for the few people that are into belt drives, I've had people tell me belt drives on a bicycle, that's a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. And look, there's some cool things about them. There's some pros and cons. I will say it is a luxury, definitely not a requirement. But that doesn't change the fact that this particular tool is one that, well, I just wish I hadn't bought once I found out how well that app worked. Otherwise, pretty much, I use just about every tool. I mean, there's some high-use tools in my tool set, but you can watch my other video. I go through every single tool that is in this toolbox, even the ones that I kind of wish now I hadn't bought or received. Maybe I should have asked for a different present, right? Oh, and one more thing. Let me just throw this in here as a bonus. This is cool to have, a little part tool mallet. I've used it a lot. I like that it's got this rubbery side. It's got the regular hammer side. It's nice, but it's part tool, so there's a little bit of a premium on the price. They're not super expensive, but I will say before you invest in a part tool stuff, get the basics first. If you're just now making your toolbox, your own personal toolbox, get some of the basics first, the important stuff that you're going to need. Even try spanners. These I've used religiously. Hex wrench sets, whatever you need, just the basic stuff, and then start working up to the more specialized things. But before you start investing, if you're really pinched on funds, before you're investing in these fancier brands, and I call them fancier brands, some people are going to laugh at that, but more bike specific stuff, don't invest in this if you're tight on funds. Just run down to your local Harbor Freight or wherever you can pick up a hammer. This is a Craftsman, so not a Harbor Freight, but pick up just a cheap little hammer. And this is definitely Pittsburgh, a Harbor Freight rubber mallet. You can get these for just a few bucks each, and you're not spending for a brand. So start out with budget, with however you can, and get the tools just to get you going, and then you can start refining and picking up some of the brands and some of the specialty items that are going to help you out as you grow in cycling. Thought I would make this video, viewer, I wish I could give you a shout out. If you will comment, I'll pin your comment at the top. Give you a shout out there. That's it for this video. Tools that I don't really care for taking up space in my bike specific toolbox. And I'm going to run down in the basement and find my tools that I have left out of here so I don't scatter them, because that's how you lose them. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.